Hello, Dahi here from Timeslip Softworks. Welcome to development video 27, in which I'll cover the larger mechanical changes for Vigilantes version 11, which is now available on Humble. First thing I'd like to cover is the difficulty levels. So from now on, when you start a new game, you'll have an option between 4 difficulty levels. The Vigilante is the difficulty level that would have been in play with the demo version of the game. Primarily with the difficulty levels, they modify enemy HP, enemy skills, so they make the enemies better at attacking, shooting and defending, and it also affects your starting cash. These are very provisional for now. I think it's going to take a lot more play to get a feel for how to balance them, but it is a first step in that direction. And I'm just going to load into a game now. In this update, the largest single thing is the reintegration of the city map and the surveillance. Now this was in place beforehand, so it's mostly just been switching the code away from the kind of the linear alpha code and tidying this up a little and polishing it. So you're presented with a city map here. So when you click on the old mission button, you get the city map. Now the city map is sort of provisional right now. There are only 2 tile types graphically. There will be probably around 5 in the final game, and it's worth mentioning there's no correlation between the actual tile type you click on and the level that it loads up for you. For now, there just aren't enough levels right now to do that, and it would also mean excluding a number of levels. So right now it'll just randomly serve you up a level. So to give a quick rundown on how this works, each one of these is a city tile which may not be occupied by one of the gangs. The first thing you're going to need to do, if we've got an unknown tile here, we can right click to lock the cursor in place, and then we can click on the surveillance operation button down here, and this will tell us how much intel we've gained. This will be a little more polished. It's fairly provisional, the UI. So we've gained plus 4.2 percentage of surveillance. There's no district names yet. The duration is 120 minutes. So you might have noticed that this cover faded out and revealed that it was the Church of the Final Exodus which occupies this sector. You may also want to continue running surveillance operations. Let's see. Until you reveal the danger level. Now the danger level is sort of kind of linked into the difficulty of the tile. What it will mean is danger level 1 is standard, so there are no buffs or bonuses to the enemy characters if they're in the danger level 1 tile. If the danger level increases, you may have to encounter higher numbers of enemies, and the enemies will have additional HP. Now I'm also looking into the possibility of adding buffs as well to the enemies. You can continue running surveillance to find the crime rate, but that doesn't really matter right now. Effectively, my idea for what crime rate will do currently is that it actually determines the percentage of the tile's wealth that the criminal gang is able to extract per day. So let's just say that the tile is worth 1,000 per day. A crime rate of 10 will give them revenue of 100. Now the system may be simplified. This is kind of what's currently in place. So there is a kind of a real economic system, and there is a gang AI which will maybe it'll determine what decide what to do, whether it'll recruit, whether it'll build facilities, whether it'll purchase permanent upgrades. It's somewhat up in the air, but that's roughly what is currently in place. For now, there are no leaders or facilities. These missions are disabled for now. They will be added in sometime over the next couple of updates. So I think that mostly covers that. These debriefings have also been added. They're pretty provisional. I'll work on them, make them a little more polished and a little more flashy as time goes on. It's also worth mentioning enemies actually level up now over time. I probably should put them here. This will allow you to see your team, who's currently going to go on the mission with you. Currently it's only Sam, and I also should mention this, since there aren't as many allied vigilantes in this version of the game as there will be in the final. I've set up this so you can find out where they are. So if you wanted to, it doesn't tell you who it is, and maybe you want to do a few missions, level up once or twice before you go after the finding allies. But you basically it just happens. It works the same way. You run surveillance, and in this case now you've kind of have an encounter where you can potentially meet an ally. I'm just going to ignore it for now. You may need to run this a couple of times because there's a percentage chance to meet them, which increases every time. Now this won't be in the final game. I don't think it will anyway. Maybe there will be some hints in the final game as to where they are, but there'll be twice as many allies at least, so it should be easy to find them. This is just for now. Now the day-night cycle has also been reintroduced, and the time system. Now I can't actually show you this. So yeah, as time passes, as you do stuff like craft, if you do mission surveillance, time will pass, and then if you run a mission, that will set the kind of the lighting conditions for that mission depending on the time of day. One other thing I've done, I've decided against. I've slightly changed the way the HP system works. Currently, now what you have is you have current HP, which is the character's the maximum HP, or the amount of HP they currently have. You also have max HP, which is the theoretical maximum number of hit points the character can have. That's based on their stats and any perks they may have later on, which might increase HP. But you also have a HP penalty. So what you're seeing here is max HP. 43 is the current max HP. So there's a max HP penalty of 2 at the minute, and basically every time your character takes damage, it actually reduces the potential max HP. And the only way you can't actually redeem this or you can't restore this with your medical equipment, you actually need to rest, or possibly later visit Doc to have it restored. Now the reason I've done this is I think it's going to be just very tedious if you're trying to heal up your character to get the hit points up again at the end of every level, and also it will force you to rest a little more so you can't continually attack. So just to take a quick look at resting, this is once again a very provisional screen. It's really provisional, but currently you can see we're at 43 out of 45 max HP. And your healing rate is the amount of hit points you heal per hour. Now if you're crafting, this is what you get. You gain 1.25 hit points per hour. If you specifically rest, it's doubled, so you get 2.5 hit points restored per hour. So I'm just going to go and rest now for 1 hour, and it'll tell you here that plus 2.5 max HP, and it ends at 5:15. So I'm just going to rest and return to the character screen, and you'll notice that it's now 45 out of 45 and 45 out of 45 here. So this is the current HP. This is how many you currently have out of the max HP minus the HP penalty, and this is the max HP penalty out of the theoretical maximum number of hit points. And I've also added a very basic enemy leveling system for now. Basically, over a certain amount, depending on the difficulty level, the enemies, after X number of days have passed, the enemies will become level 2. Now I also need to look at re-adding the more advanced type of enemies, such as the Mafia Enforcer. They will pop up in story encounters, but they're not going to pop up in just regular missions. So that's something I'll work on also over the next couple of updates to reintegrate these other characters. So they, perhaps when the character levels up so many times, there's a chance that they'll turn into one of these more advanced types. That's one possibility, or perhaps depending on the danger level of the tile, there may be a certain percentage of more advanced enemies in it. It's currently it's just going to be a matter of trying these things and finding out what works best. And that's more or less everything. I suppose there is also the team management. This will be populated with your kind of a panel for each ally as you rescue them, and then you'll have the option to add them to the team or remove them from the team, and then this will show up in here. If they're added, they'll be on the active team. If they're not, they'll be on the reserve team. And that's effectively it for this video. I'm currently working on Vigilantes version 12, and hopefully I would expect a new build for that will be available in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.